Welcome back to Book for Therapy. You're listening to music by Johann Sebastian Bach, Orchestral Suite Number 3. I'm Yuna Hunt, and I will be your host. Just a reminder that the next three slides are reintroducing the book and chapter, as each chapter can be used by itself. The first book I'm going to be looking at is Dr. Julie Smith's Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? Why choose it as a resource? Dr. Julie Smith is a clinical psychologist and mental health educator. She's known for creating short-form mental health content. The purpose of the book is to provide basic insight into the functioning of our mind and body, along with practical tools for daily mental health well-being. The content focus is a clear and detailed look at how these ideas would be discussed in a therapy session, together with simple step-by-step guidance anyone can follow. The key approach is practical, skills-based methods, where we get to pick the right tool for the challenge, give it time to work, and practice, especially when not needed. Its distinctive element is that it is a toolbox filled to the brim with different tools for different jobs, and it's not a key to a problem-free life, but with some guidance and self-awareness, struggle can build strength. Chapter 8 is looked at together with Social Media Day observed on the 30th of June, while the painting in the background by artist Henriette Brown, A Girl Writing, is accompanied by a classical music piece by Johann Sebastian Bach. But when you start something new, you have to carve out a fresh path, sometimes from scratch. That takes huge amounts of conscious effort. And if you don't use that path often enough, it will always be effortful. Anytime that you are under stress, your brain will automatically choose the easiest route, which is the path well trodden. But if you can repeat that new behavior as often as you can, for enough times, then a new habit is established and becomes easier to use when you most need it. Social Media Day is observed on the 30th of June. Social Media Day is a global event that recognizes the considerable influence of social media on our lives. It's an opportunity to evaluate how these platforms have transformed communication, enabled global connections, and continually reshaped the way we interact. Social media is far from perfect, and there are many challenges that come with engagement on these platforms, but this day is intended to focus on its positive side. While we don't seem to easily exist or have our social and professional lives outside of social media these days, the intention still is to create online community. So one thing that we can do is to show our support for our favorite charity. This while limiting our engagement by imposing healthy boundaries, leaving groups, or blocking harmful or brain rot related content. Brain rot is understood to be negative cognitive, emotional, and behavioral effects resulting from the purposeless, repetitive, and excessive consumption of trivial, unchallenging, and low-quality digital media content primarily for short-term entertainment. Chapter Summary. Motivation is not a constant companion. We cannot depend on it to carry us through every moment. We can develop the skill of choosing actions that align with what matters to us, even when our impulses pull us elsewhere. With consistent repetition, new actions can become second nature. Pacing ourselves and allowing time to recover is essential when pursuing any major objective, just as top performance in sports do. Incorporating simple incentives can help maintain momentum throughout the journey. How do you make yourself do something when you don't feel like it? Urges relieve discomfort or seek reward. However, they can be resisted as only a part of us. Motivation can be fleeting regardless of stress reduction and motivation cultivation. Motivation can also be unreliable. There will always be things we don't feel like doing. While feelings can come with urges, like suggestions, nudges, or persuasions. Strong emotional urges lead to a harmful coping strategy. With mindfulness practice, we pay attention to the experience. So, we identify the urge, meaning we recognize the specific emotion. We then use the opposite action, meaning we choose behavior aligned with our values. This enables us to engage in values based actions, which is act based on values. The pain barrier. Start new behavior, meaning initiating a new action requiring effort. Repeat behavior. Consistently performing the action makes it easier. Establish habit. Performing a routine will require less effort. Automatic action. Performing the habit without conscious thought. Here are some suggestions for building a new routine. Start by making the action as effortless as possible, especially during times when motivation is low. Arrange your surroundings to encourage the shift in behavior, as consistency is still fragile in the beginning. Create specific intentions and use prompts or cues to stay on track. Incorporate a balance of immediate and future oriented incentives. Rewards that come from within, like a sense of accomplishment, are more powerful than external recognition. Reflect deeply on your reasons for making this shift and why it holds personal significance. Begin to see this new behavior as a natural expression of who you are. Let it become a reflection of your way of being. How to persist for the long haul. Recognize grit. Understand the importance of grit in success. Balance effort. Learn to balance effort with rest to avoid burnout. Listen to the body. Pay attention to physical and mental cues for rest. Drive forward. Use rest to rejuvenate and continue towards goals. How to persist with the long haul part 2. Break down goals, dividing large tasks into smaller, manageable steps. Set milestones, defining specific, achievable targets along the way. Reward progress, celebrating each milestone with small, motivating rewards. Maintain motivation, use dopamine hits to stay focused and driven. Achieve ultimate goal, reaching the final objective with sustained effort. Gratitude. When the initial state is unfocused, lacking internal rewards, it's helpful to shift the language to reframe it from I have to I get to do this. Formal practice means we get to write down things we're grateful for, and the regular repetition, the constant gratitude, strengthens the mental muscle. Feeling gratitude means feeling focused, replenished internal rewards. Pre-planning. Identify goal, which is define the desired outcome. Anticipate hurdles, which is list potential obstacles. Develop action plans, which is create strategies for each hurdle. Engineer environment, which is modify surroundings to support goals. Execute plan, which is implement strategies when needed. Achieve goal, reach the desired outcome. Journey of personal identity. The sense of self is created throughout life. Motivation, though, fluctuates throughout life. When goals are aligned with who we want to be, they support us in acting accordingly to the person we aspire to be. This is just who I am. Returning to your identity, part 2. Toolkit. Using future self-reflection and writing to support wise decisions. Take time to picture the person you will become. Research shows that forming a detailed mental image of our future self can make it easier to act in ways today that serve our long-term well-being. Reflect on a point down the road in your life. Consider how you might view the decisions you're making now, what you choose to embrace and what you choose to avoid. In what ways will those decisions have shaped you? Which steps or commitments do you think will stand out as your proudest moments? Once you arrived at this stage in life, what do you imagine will be the most important to you? How might you feel when you look back at who you are today? Embracing new skills offers low cost but high change potential. Overcoming challenges involves high cost but significant change. Ignoring problems results in high cost with no change. Maintaining current routine incurs low cost with no change. Keeping things the same. Under the Try This section in the book, we are encouraged to explore that shaping who we are with purpose requires reflection and deliberate action. Set aside time to write down your thoughts in response to a few key prompts. Even better, start to journal and revisit your entries regularly, especially during periods of transition. What significant shift am I hoping to create in my life? What makes this shift deeply meaningful to me? Who do I aspire to become while navigating this process? In what way can I move through this experience so that later on I feel a sense of dignity and self respect, regardless of how things unfold? What smaller milestones must I reach along the journey? How do I want to respond on the days when energy or drive is lacking? And am I staying attuned to my physical well being and its signals? That's all from me for now. Thank you for listening. The chosen composer and painter were both artists celebrated this month of June. I hope you feel more empowered to do those things we often don't feel like doing but are good for us. See you soon.